in 2018, Maya has become a prominent figure in the early stage startup ecosystem, backing over 100 founders and contributing to the success of 6 unicorns. In 2021, Maya launched Spice Capital, a seed stage firm that quickly gained the backing of industry luminaries, including Mark Andreessen, Chris Dixon, and Alexis Ohanian, who is the founder of Reddit. The fund, with over 40 portfolio companies, is known for its strategic investments across fintech, Web3, creator economy, and software as a service. Prior to founding Spice Capital, Maya managed venture investments for NBA player Kevin Durant, expertly bridging the worlds of technology and culture. Her most prominent deals include early investments in Hugging Face, Mercury, Dapper Labs, and OpenSea, each reaching or exceeding $1 billion valuations. Dedicated to promoting diversity in venture capital, Maya has made significant investments in female-led teams. Her most notable investments is in Kindbody, a female fertility startup last valued at $1.4 billion. Maya's mission is not only to support groundbreaking startups, but also to encourage diversity and inclusion within the venture capital ecosystem. She has a BS in finance and data science from NYU, and in 2023, she was recognized for her investing in Forbes 30 Under 30's venture capital list. Please everyone give a warm welcome to Maya.
Thank you everyone for having me here. I am so excited, and I remember sitting here in like 2013, the first time I came to USWIB, and being really nervous and taking notes of all the speakers, and so it's such an honor to be here. I'm gonna start with the little story and then kind of dive into it. So the year is 2009. I'm angsty, I'm sweating, the AC is on 78 degrees. Why does my dad keep it so warm? My attention shifts as I hear the garage door open. My mom is back from the outlet mall in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and what she is about to deliver me will come to change my life. A pair of black classic Crocs. Crocs, the year is 2009. Crocs are very much out of style. After sales took off in the mid-2000s, the company struggled to keep up with demand. And when production finally caught up, they had gone overboard, ending up with mountains of shoes and no one to buy them, just as the economic downturn hit. Crocs was in big trouble. The year is 2013. I wake up to the sound of clapping. Please welcome the Robinhood team. I look down and see a puddle of drool in my notebook. I tried so hard every lunch meeting, but the monotone voice and patronizing quips of the IAG bros, couldn't keep me awake for longer than 15 minutes. But today, the energy was different. Startup energy. The Robinhood team was here to demo their new investing app. You could trade any stock for free on your phone. I signed up for the beta. The year is 2019. I'm scrolling Instagram and see the 7,000th meme of the green Balenciaga stiletto Crocs, which I'm sure you've all seen. I couldn't take it anymore. I open Robinhood, buy 10 shares of my beloved company for $27 each, my first foray into ownership, Crocs. The year is 2020. It's still 78 degrees. I'm in my childhood bedroom because of COVID, and I'm scrolling Instagram again. I see LeBron James in an N95 mask, and I have to do a double take. Oh my God, he's wearing Crocs. Basketball paparazzi has made a business out of highlighting these tunnel fits. I open Robinhood. Crocs is trading at 1/3 of the PE ratio of Nike. I run over to my brother, who's working in investment banking at the time. Pull up FactSet and check for Crocs. Crickets. There's no reputable firms that have research or anything covering this company. I go for a walk to think. Guess what I'm wearing? Am I missing something? Everyone is at home optimizing for comfort. Crocs is part of the conversation. LeBron James just gave his stamp of approval. The largest cosign you could possibly get. I knew I was right and I felt it in my gut. After failing to make a presentation and convince my dad he should put his retirement savings into Crocs, I decided to test my own conviction. I buy stock options leading up to Crocs earnings, and I was right. Crocs delivers unexpected revenues. The stock is up and to the right. Analysts are shocked. I repeat this over and over again for the next few quarters until Wall Street starts catching up. Soon after, I roll the profits into angel investing, quit my job, and launch my company. So invest your time and money in what you love. That's the story. so much for having me here today. My name is Bakhai, and I'm the founder of Spice Capital, a venture capital fund investing in the future of internet native consumers. I grew up in South Florida to first-generation immigrant parents. I was itching for more than South Florida, and NYU delivered. My first week, 2 girls on my floor in Hayden, which I think is now called Lipton, invited me to study from a cafe in the West Village. The next week, I went back myself, sat at the long wooden table, and introduced myself to the people around me. Among me was a published author in his 30s, a freelance creative in her 20s, a retired finance vet in his 60s, and a lawyer in his 40s. We came every Saturday. Total strangers became my mentors and a lens into a whole new world. I called my mom 1 month into school and told her my new rule: meet 1 new person a week. I've done that for over 10 years now. NYU was an amazing lesson in independent discovery. By senior year, I was co-president of the Business Analytics Club, a member of Stern Student Council, Social Impact Council, and my most proud accomplishment, president of the NYU Cheese Club. It sounds like a really great resume, but I really struggled in the beginning. My freshman year, I got rejected from literally everything. DSP, AK Psi, I rushed multiple times. I grew up doing performing arts, and I didn't make the NYU dance team, the comedy club, or the a cappella group. My very wise friend Lori Berenberg, who actually first introduced me to USWIB, sent me an article, like one of those clickbait BuzzFeed articles called Fuck Yes or No, and it changed my life. The premise is, if something or someone is not a fuck yes, it's a fuck no. I channeled this as my mantra for years to come, and luckily I was in New York City. The outsiders became my people. I wasn't going to let an institution tell me no. So I started improv classes at UCB and got to perform at off-Broadway theaters. I signed up for hip-hop classes at Broadway Dance Center and started training under professional choreographers, and I interned every semester. I leaned on industry mentors and experts rather than students. I couldn't be more grateful for the rejections because it forced me to jump into the real world 4 years before anyone else. When freshman internships were coming around, I was feeling very rejected by Stern and intimidated by the finance kids. I did what everyone who can't get a finance job does and intern at a startup. That was the luckiest decision of my life. Paul Canetti, the CEO, and Simon Baumer, the CTO of Maz Digital, became my lifelong mentors. This was the luckiest decision of my life. They showed me an alternative to email, Slack, so I became an early user of Slack. They took me to investor meetings, and I watched how they pitch angel investors to give them money. They bared with me as I poorly managed their company Twitter, and they taught me how to send cold emails. 10 years later, it came full circle when Spice Capital invested in Paul and Simon's 3rd startup, an AI scheduling assistant called Sketch. Last year, Simon passed away from pancreatic cancer, leaving a very big hole in our hearts. He taught me to live every moment with integrity and authenticity. He made time to listen to everyone's complaints, even though he was dealing with so much himself. One day in 2014, Simon pulled me aside and told me the importance of being technical. He encouraged me to take comp sci. I didn't always listen, but Simon was always right. I miss you, Simon. My senior year, I met the Venmo founder at a Stern Club meeting and afterwards cornered him for an internship at his new company, hoping for a final Hail Mary that would allow me to escape corporate America. I worked for him through the school year and the summer after graduation. It was my first look inside a pre-seed startup and the chaos it entails. Long story short, I had to return to corporate America at the end of the summer. October 2017, I joined PwC as a technology consultant. I had a very scary boss that made me cry and would hold up a ruler to my PowerPoints to check for alignment. They didn't have Snap to Grid at the time. I hated her at the time, but now appreciate the discipline and work ethic she instilled in me. I was determined to impress her and would go to the client office on the weekends to get ahead of my deadlines. To spice up my job, I emailed the head partner of the group and set up a meeting. During the meeting, I figured out that partners don't actually do any of the consulting work. Their job is to sell and win and upsell new clients. So in my free time, I started creating sales decks and finding leads for the head of the group. I was immediately on the promotion track. During one of our trainings, they asked us to raise our hands if we wanted to be partners one day. I was the only person in the room who didn't raise their hand, and I quit within the year. Timing is everything. In relationships, deals, fundraising, the lucky people are not really lucky, they just know how to time opportunity. And I think I started Spice at an opportune time. I noticed the world was changing. Startups were posting their milestones publicly on LinkedIn and Twitter. Robinhood and crypto democratized access to finance, and we were in a zero interest rate environment. When there's free money, people are more willing to take risk. So I took a risk on myself. Starting a fund sounds very glamorous, but the truth is, anything in the early days is difficult. I didn't fit the mold of an investment manager. I'm a woman of color in my 20s. In 2022, just for context, only 1.4% of the LP, which is limited partners, people that back funds, LP dollars went to women-led funds, 1.4%. I had over 452 investors tell me no. But I have tried and continue to try to convince people that my differences are my edge. Eventually, we got it done. Our first fund was $6 million. We have 50 portfolio companies, of which 51% have at least one BIPOC founder, and almost 30% of the companies have at least one female founder. I'm very proud of what we've accomplished, but there's a lot more work to be done. I'm still battling the biases of an industry that preaches disruptive thinking, but tends to pattern match for what's already been done, funding white males from Stanford. Women control over $38 trillion of worldwide spending, and their income is only increasing and growing as more and more women enter the workforce. Investors need to modernize their thinking or risk sacrificing returns. It is critical we resist being competitive with one another and take this time to all support each other. I fight for my founders every day. It's what keeps pushing me through the rejections. If I don't succeed, the world will continue to create more homogeny. I think the hardest part of graduating college is the uncertainty that comes with the lack of structure. All of you are high performers, but to date your upside has been capped by institutional benchmarks. Get good grades, get into a good college, get into a good job. The real world has uncapped upside. Nobody tells you what you are supposed to do. That optionality is scary and can make you feel lost, and this is where you need to lean into your passion. Naval Ravikant, the founder of AngelList, has a great passage on finding leverage in his book. I'm gonna read it to you guys. We live in an age of infinite leverage, and the economic rewards for genuine intellectual curiosity have never been higher. Following your genuine intellectual curiosity is a better foundation for a career than following whatever is making money right now. Knowledge only you know or a small set of people knows is going to come out of your passions and your hobbies, oddly enough. If you have hobbies around your intellectual curiosity, you're more likely to develop these passions. So nurture what you genuinely love, what you loved doing as a child. If you have the willpower, the internet has created infinite business models to monetize your passions through investing, through content creation. You can make a course, create your own Croc story. I wanted to end with some lessons to take with you into your careers. Number 1. Know the rules of the game you're playing. The way I see it, after you graduate, there are 3 career trajectories, and each one has kind of a different motivational game. The first approach is working to live. This is what the majority of the world does. This is when you're just at a job to pay the bills. You're doing a simple transaction here, right? You're lending your time for a check. You may not be passionate about the role, but you need the money. So you just do enough to get your paycheck and spend extra time outside of your work pursuing your passion, travel, hobbies, friendships. There's no incentive to burn out in this type of job. You want to use your time in a way that you can actually further you down the line. Second is becoming a career corporate, joining a cause or company greater than you. This would be a job at any big corporation or large company where you see yourself going up the ranks. Here, you're still lending your time, but there's a significant pay increase as you embed yourself deeper. The key to success here, in order to climb the ladder, is to pretend you are the founder, the CEO. If your reputation was riding on this company's success, how would you spend time within that role? Channel that energy every day and you will be rewarded. The third is the opposite of working to live, living to work. You should only go this hard if you're working for yourself or at a company where you have meaningful upside. You will have to live and breathe your work. There is no cheat code. In this approach, you'll have to make sacrifices in your 20s, and you may not relate to your friends who are kind of in the other two buckets, but it's really fulfilling. So that's kind of my lessons on how to understand the game you're in when you're in any sort of job, any sort of project, understand the incentives, understand where you can create leverage, where you don't have leverage, and you'll be able to navigate the trajectory. Number 2 is always help others pull out their passion. Though I haven't created a successful startup idea of my own, I have made a career out of supporting friends' passions and efforts. I've advised multiple founders from my high school, from NYU, from even old bosses with Sketch. And it's not that I have all of the answers, but sometimes all a brilliant person needs is someone else to believe in them. When you identify someone thinking outside of the box, lend them a hand. If you have a strength, offer to help. If a friend needs a financial model and you're really good at that, offer to help. Social media help, recommendations, network connectivity, whatever it is, do your part. The karma will catch up to you. Number 3, be solution-oriented. Whenever you come across an obstacle, reframe it as a fun challenge. Take it with lightness. Think of it as a puzzle. If you stay positive, you can work your way through anything. And there's fun and joy in actually cracking the, adversity, right? And number 4 is be different. My parents taught me this from a very young age. I'm so lucky they instilled that in me. But your unique perspective and experience are what will give you your edge. So lean into that, be comfortable in your own skin, and be excited about the world. That's it for me.